Land as far as the eye can see, a necessity for any major auto plant. But we're a long way from Detroit. Why Tennessee?
We looked at 15, 20 different states, and this site that we're standing on really stood out above all others.
Ford is among several major automakers looking to dominate the electric vehicle market, and they're setting up shop in the South to do it.
Today, we're announcing the largest investment in American manufacturing in the history of our company.
That investment, an ambitious $5.6 billion mega campus called Blue Oval City, where the electric version of America's most popular vehicle, the Ford F-150 truck, will be built.
We needed a site that has the size, the flexibility, and the breadth of what we need in terms of the infrastructure. The electric battery plant requires 5 times the electricity that a normal assembly plant requires today.
Volkswagen, General Motors, and Nissan all churning out cars in factories across the state. What impact do you think this will have in Western Tennessee?
I think it's going to be transformational. I think it'll bring the next generation of jobs and tech jobs to this area.
Already, Ford has begun recruiting local 8th graders.
It's an amazing sight to see, though. You know, you see all these companies, big companies like Ford, here to give us an opportunity to see what our future could look like.
Ford's Blue Oval City will be one of the largest U.S. auto plants ever. The 3,600-acre campus will cover nearly 6 square miles and employ about 6,000 people. With this expected boom will come money. Lots of it. The more than $1 billion the state has already committed to the area to attract Ford, just the beginning, with the potential to send property values in towns near the plant soaring. Towns like Mason. The predominantly black town of around 1,100 people has a median household income of only $35,000 a year. The median home value just under $90,000.
I think it's a good idea, you know, it's bringing in new jobs and, you know, just something new for Tennessee because they definitely need it.
I think it's going to be good for the community, you know, a lot of opportunities for a lot of people. Very excited about it. Can't wait.
I'm excited because I want to, see change.
But just when the town of Mason thought hope was on the horizon,
citizens of one small West Tennessee town are fighting to keep their community under their control.
It all started with a letter sent by the state comptroller to the town residents.
We were blindsided. We had 2 options. One was to relinquish our charter. If we did, they would come in and take over the finances of the town.
Giving up the charter would place the predominantly black and Democratic town in the hands of Tipton, the majority white and Republican-leaning county that Mason is part of.
That means that no citizen that is now in Mason will have any say-so whatsoever. They would come in and do whatever they want to any of us, however they want to do us.
For more than a century, Mason was run by white elected officials. That all changed in 2016 when almost all the town officials resigned amid fraud and mismanagement allegations. Now, all of Mason's leaders are black.
He was determined to try to divide our city by causing the people to turn against the elected officials that they had placed in office.
The comptroller says his office is only looking out for Mason's best interest, writing in that letter that the town has been poorly managed for at least 20 years, then highlighting opportunities that the new Ford plant could bring, before adding, people and companies will not invest their money in a poorly run town. The comptroller denies race played any role. He declined to be interviewed on camera for this story, but a spokesperson tells NBC News that their office has worked with Mason for years to pay down the roughly $500,000 that was owed to the state when the letter was sent, adding, due to the fact that previous attempts at corrective action with the town were unsuccessful, the comptroller has taken the final step of enhanced financial supervision.
The comptroller has said, this isn't about race, there's no bias. He just wants to best position Mason so that they can reap all the benefits when Blue Oval City comes.
That's bull. These people laying here, the value is going to skyrocket. So yes, you want to take control of the land and the money that's coming down the line because you don't want us to have control of it.
Last month, the NAACP got involved, suing the state to stop the financial takeover.
When we looked across the state, cities and towns that had problems with their finances, they were never asked to give up their charter. We saw it as clear discriminatory practices.
But a judge ruled the comptroller has broad authority over local government operations, including requiring state approval for any town expenses over $100, writing, "The court recognizes the harsh realities imposed upon an administration that did not contribute to the financial burden of the town. But the court must also take into account the state's interest in moving the town towards financial stability and a balanced budget."
If this debt is not paid off by the time Blue Oval is up and running, by the time those businesses and people do start coming, what then?
Well, it's going to be paid. We're going to do it. I just believe God's going to make a way.
All right, Priscilla Thompson is back, and she has some new reporting tonight. So that judge ruled that the comptroller can control the town's finances. So where do they go from here?
Yeah, Tom, I spoke with the vice mayor the day that ruling came down, and she told me the town was going to continue to fight. But in the last 24 hours, we spoke with the comptroller's office, who says that both sides have reached an agreement in which Mason would drop that lawsuit, and the comptroller would allow a public accounting firm to take over control of the expenses, approving anything over $1,000 instead of $100. The vice mayor confirms that that agreement is in the works, but says it's not a done deal yet. And so as it stands, this town has around $250,000 left to pay off. If the agreement stands, they will have 4 years to do that and could get out of the red just as those F-150s are rolling off the assembly line.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.